Welcome back to Meets Wisdom, where we explore the ancient wisdom that helps us navigate modern challenges. I'm grateful you've joined me today for a discussion that many of you have requested: how to detach from a woman who doesn't value you. Before we begin, if you find value in these lessons, please hit that subscribe button and like this video. It helps our community grow and ensures you never miss the insights that could transform your life. There's a particular kind of pain that comes from pouring your heart, time, and energy into someone who simply doesn't reciprocate your value. It's a wound that cuts deeply, yet one that many men silently endure, hoping something will change. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control." Today we'll explore how to apply this ancient wisdom to free yourself from attachment to someone who doesn't see your worth, not out of bitterness or revenge, but from a place of self-respect and personal growth. What I'm about to share isn't just theory. These are battle-tested principles that have helped countless men, including myself, reclaim their dignity and peace of mind. So if you're currently struggling with this situation, know that there is a way forward, and it begins with understanding the truth about attachment, value, and the power of your choices. Let's begin. Section 1. Recognizing the reality. The first step in detaching from someone who doesn't value you is acknowledging the reality of your situation without self-deception. This can be the most difficult part of the process. When we're emotionally invested in someone, we develop a remarkable ability to ignore red flags, rationalize disrespect, and create elaborate explanations for behavior that, viewed objectively, clearly demonstrates a lack of reciprocal value. Ask yourself these questions and be ruthlessly honest with your answers. Does she consistently make time for you, or are you always working around her schedule? Does she show genuine interest in your life, thoughts, and feelings? Does she make equal effort in maintaining communication and connection? When you express needs, are they acknowledged and respected? Is your relationship characterized by reciprocity, or are you doing most of the giving? The Stoic philosopher Seneca reminds us, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The pain of acknowledging someone doesn't value you is intense but brief compared to the prolonged suffering of living in denial. Drop a comment below with the word clarity if you've experienced this moment of painful recognition in your own life. Remember, this isn't about demonizing her or making her wrong. People have the right to choose who they value. This is about you having the courage to see things as they truly are, not as you wish them to be. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." In relationships, insanity is repeatedly expecting a different outcome from someone who has consistently shown you who they are. The most powerful position you can take is one of radical acceptance. Not resignation, not bitterness, but clear-eyed acceptance of what is. Section 2. Understanding attachment versus connection. Before we can effectively detach, we need to understand the difference between healthy connection and unhealthy attachment. This distinction is crucial. Connection is mutual, life-giving, and based on seeing each other's authentic selves. Attachment, especially when one-sided, is often based on need, fear, or fantasy. When you're attached to someone who doesn't value you, you're not actually attached to the real person. You're attached to 1. Who you hope they'll become; 2. How they make you feel in fleeting moments; 3. The version of yourself you believe you can be with them; 4. The investment you've already made, the sunk cost fallacy, the potential you believe exists in the relationship. The Roman Stoic Musonius Rufus taught that we should not be distressed by things which we cannot control, but rather adapt ourselves to conditions as we find them. When you're attached to someone who doesn't value you, you're essentially fighting reality. You're trying to control something outside your control, her feelings and choices, rather than adapting to the truth of the situation. True detachment doesn't mean becoming cold or uncaring. It means releasing your grip on outcomes you cannot control. It means loving yourself enough to stop demanding water from a dry well. If you've been caught in attachment rather than genuine connection, type releasing in the comments. Let's acknowledge this together. The Stoics practiced a meditation called negative visualization, imagining losing what you value as a way to appreciate it more deeply. But in this case, we need to visualize something different: the freedom and peace that comes from releasing something that isn't serving you. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine waking up without that weight on your chest. Imagine your mind free from analyzing her texts, wondering about her feelings, strategizing to earn her attention. Imagine your energy redirected toward people and pursuits that naturally return your investment. That feeling? That's what awaits you on the other side of this work. Section 3. The role of self-worth. At the core of unhealthy attachment is often a fundamental issue with self-worth. This isn't comfortable to hear, but it's essential to understand. When we accept being undervalued, we're revealing something critical about our relationship with ourselves. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who was born a slave but rose to become one of history's great thinkers, said, "Make it your study then to confront every harsh impression with the words, 'You are but an impression and not at all what you seem to be.'" The impression that you need someone who doesn't value you is just that, an impression, not reality. Your worth is not determined by anyone's ability or willingness to see it. Your value doesn't increase when someone acknowledges it, nor decrease when someone fails to recognize it. Your value is intrinsic and unchanging. Consider this. Would a man who truly understands his worth continue to offer his time, attention, and affection to someone who consistently demonstrates they don't value those gifts? The hard truth is that we accept the treatment we believe, on some level, that we deserve. If you find yourself consistently drawn to or staying with people who don't value you properly, it's time to examine the beliefs you hold about yourself. These beliefs are often formed early in life and operate below the level of conscious awareness. What messages did you internalize about your worth growing up? What experiences shaped your expectations of how you should be treated? What stories are you telling yourself about why you need to earn someone's value rather than having it freely given? If this resonates with you, type worthy in the comments. Let's create a reminder of this fundamental truth. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This applies profoundly to relationships. The quality of your connections begins with how you value yourself. Building self-worth isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's the foundation upon which all healthy relationships are built. And sometimes walking away from someone who doesn't value you is the most powerful act of self-worth you can demonstrate. Section 4. The practice of detachment. Now let's discuss the practical steps to detach from someone who doesn't value you. This isn't about techniques for getting over someone quickly. There are no shortcuts through emotional work. Rather, these are proven practices that honor both your feelings and your dignity. Step 1. Create physical distance. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort teaches us to face difficulties intentionally to build resilience. Creating physical distance from someone you're attached to is a form of voluntary discomfort that leads to strength. This means limiting or eliminating in-person contact, removing or minimizing digital connections, rearranging your routines to avoid unnecessary encounters, creating new environments that don't trigger memories. Zeno of Citium taught, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." In modern terms, better to stumble in your resolve to maintain distance than to keep engaging in conversations that rekindle attachment. Physical distance isn't about punishing her or yourself. It's about creating the space necessary for clarity and healing. Step 2. Redirect mental energy. Even with physical distance, your mind will naturally gravitate toward thoughts of her. This is where disciplined mental practice becomes essential. When thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment. Remind yourself, this thought doesn't serve my highest good. Immediately redirect to a predetermined productive focus, Epictetus advised. Make it your study then to confront every harsh impression with the words, "You are but an impression and not at all what you seem to be." Each thought of her is just an impression. You can observe it without being controlled by it. Develop a instead of I will plan. For example, instead of checking her social media, I will read one page of a book. Instead of replaying our conversations, I will practice 5 minutes of meditation. Instead of fantasizing about reconciliation, I will work on my personal goals. If you're committing to redirecting your mental energy, type redirect in the comments as your pledge to this practice. Step 3. Emotional processing detachment doesn't mean suppressing emotions. Stoicism is often misunderstood as advocating emotional repression, but true Stoic practice involves acknowledging emotions while not being ruled by them. Give yourself permission to feel everything: the hurt, anger, disappointment, and loss. These emotions contain valuable information. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Similarly, the greatest remedy for emotional attachment is giving yourself time to process your feelings without acting on them impulsively. Practical approaches include journaling your feelings without censorship, speaking your truth to trusted friends, physical exercise to process emotions through the body, creative expression of your experience. The goal isn't to never feel pain, but to transform it into wisdom. Step 4. Value realignment. As you create space from this relationship, use that energy to realign with your core values. What matters most to you? What kind of relationships do you want to cultivate? What type of person do you aspire to be? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This is your opportunity to consciously choose the thoughts that will shape your future relationships. Make a physical list of your non-negotiable relationship values. Not preferences, values. The fundamental principles that must be present for you to feel respected and fulfilled. Then honestly assess, was the relationship you're detaching from aligned with these values? Or were you compromising what matters most for temporary connection? If you're ready to realign with your core values, type values in the comments section. Step 5. Cultivate alternative sources of joy. One of the most effective ways to detach is to remind yourself that there are countless sources of meaning, connection, and happiness available to you. The Stoics practiced amor fati, a love of fate in whatever it brings. This doesn't mean passive acceptance, but rather finding opportunity in every circumstance. This period of detachment is an opportunity to deepen friendships that may have been neglected, pursue interests you've put on hold, discover new passions and communities, strengthen your relationship with yourself. Epictetus taught, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." As you detach, deliberately shift your focus from what you're losing to what you're gaining. Autonomy, clarity, self-respect, and the opportunity to find connections that truly mirror your worth. Section 5. Maintaining detachment with dignity. Perhaps the most challenging aspect of detachment is maintaining it with dignity, especially when tested. There will be moments that challenge your resolve, unexpected encounters, moments of weakness, or even attempts on her part to reconnect. The true measure of detachment isn't never thinking about someone again. It's being able to interact with them if necessary from a place of emotional freedom rather than need or attachment. Epictetus offers this wisdom. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things. In practical terms, this means being willing to be misunderstood in your detachment process. She may interpret your actions as coldness, pride, or game playing. Those who don't understand your journey may see your detachment as bitterness rather than growth. Being willing to be misunderstood is part of the price of your freedom. To maintain detachment with dignity, 1. Establish clear boundaries and communicate them directly if necessary. 2. Resist the urge to explain or justify your detachment process. 3. Avoid speaking negatively about her to mutual connections. 4. Release the need for her to understand or validate your decision. 5. Focus on your behavior, not her reactions. If maintaining dignity and detachment resonates with you, comment dignity below. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In this context, the highest form of detachment is to wish her well genuinely while continuing on your path of growth. This isn't about winning or losing, proving something, or showing her what she's missing. It's about freedom. Yours. Section 6. when she returns. There's a phenomenon that often occurs when you genuinely detach. The person who didn't value you suddenly seems to discover your worth. This is a critical juncture that tests the authenticity of your detachment. When you stop pursuing someone who didn't value you, several things may happen. 1. The dynamic shifts, creating curiosity. 2. Your improved self-worth changes how you show up. 3. The absence of your attention creates space for reflection. 4. Your detachment triggers fear of loss. Seneca cautioned, we should always allow some time to elapse, for time discloses the truth. If she returns with sudden interest after your detachment, approach with extreme caution. Ask yourself, has she demonstrated genuine change or just reactive interest? Are you responding from a place of strength or lingering attachment? Has enough time passed to reveal true intentions? Have the fundamental issues been acknowledged and addressed? The Stoic principle of premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, is relevant here. Mentally rehearse this scenario now, so you're prepared if it occurs. Remember, your goal isn't to make her regret losing you. It's to reach a place where her regret or lack thereof is no longer relevant to your peace of mind. If you've experienced this return phenomenon before, comment "returned" below. Let's acknowledge this common pattern. The true test of detachment isn't whether you can resist her if she returns. It's whether you can make decisions based on present reality rather than past attachment or future hopes. Section 7. Building discernment for future relationships. The final aspect of detachment is learning to carry its wisdom forward. The goal isn't just to detach from one person who didn't value you, but to develop the discernment to recognize genuine value in future relationships. Epictetus teaches, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Develop these practices for discernment. 1. Observe patterns, not promises. Actions over time reveal true values. Words can deceive, but consistent behavior tells the truth. 2. Trust reciprocity. Healthy connection involves mutual exchange of energy. If you're consistently giving more than you receive, pay attention. 3. Notice how you feel. Your body and emotions contain wisdom. Do you feel energized or drained after interactions? Secure or anxious? These sensations provide valuable data. Maintain your center. The ability to walk away from connections that don't serve you is directly proportional to how centered you are in your own worth. 5. Value-aligned values. Beyond attraction and chemistry, long-term compatibility depends on shared core values. Identify these early. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus said, "We begin to lose our hesitation to do immoral things when we lose our hesitation to speak of them." In relationship terms, we begin to accept unacceptable treatment when we lose our ability to name it clearly. Maintain your standards by being willing to name, even if only to yourself, what you observe. If you're committed to bringing greater discernment to your future relationships, comment discernment below. The pain of detaching from someone who doesn't value you can become the foundation for building relationships of genuine mutual respect. Your experience hasn't been wasted if it leads you to connections worthy of your heart. Conclusion. As we conclude this exploration of detachment, I want to leave you with a powerful truth. The process of detaching from someone who doesn't value you is really the process of returning to yourself. Every step away from attachment to her is a step toward reconnection with your authentic self. Your wisdom, your strength, your inherent worth that exists independent of anyone's recognition. The Stoic philosopher Seneca reminds us, the greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Your life is happening now, not in the past of this relationship, not in some imagined future where she finally sees your worth. Now, in this moment, right now, contains the possibility of peace, growth, and genuine connection if you're willing to release what isn't serving you. I know this journey isn't easy. I've walked it myself. The path of detachment requires courage, persistence, and compassion, especially for yourself. There will be days of progress and days of seeming regression. This is normal. Be gentle with yourself in the process. If this video has resonated with you, please take a moment to like it and subscribe to Meets Wisdom. Your engagement helps these messages reach others who may be struggling with similar challenges. And remember, detachment isn't about closing your heart. It's about freeing it to beat at its own natural rhythm again. It's about creating space for what truly deserves to flourish there. Thank you for your presence and attention today. Until next time, this is Meets Wisdom, reminding you that the truest wisdom often comes from facing our deepest challenges. If you found value in today's video, please hit that subscribe button and join our community of seekers and growth-minded individuals. Your comments help shape future content, so let me know what resonated most with you today. Until next time, this is Meets Wisdom, helping you find strength in life's greatest challenges.